Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh everyone. So you are watching my video again, and in this video I will explain about my understanding about the basic English reading material. So here we go. The first material I will explain about the understanding to text. So why is it important to understand the text we read? Because the one writer is always have something that they want to convey to us, and that is our duty to grasp the meaning or to grasp the information they give us. And one way to enhance our skill in reading is to uh, exercise by time. So we have to exercise, so we have to frequently exercise, and after that our understanding to text or our reading understanding will be enhanced. And how to understand the text is closely related with understanding the paragraph pattern. So there are a plenty of paragraph pattern, um, and if you ask me about what are they are description paragraph pattern, and the next is definition paragraph pattern, and there is also a chronological or a time order or sequence paragraph pattern, and there's also a chronological order or sequence paragraph pattern, cause and effect paragraph pattern, and also chain and also simple listing paragraph pattern. So when we read a description paragraph pattern, this kind of paragraph is des- is descripting is descripting about one topic, and when you swap the order of words, it will not affect the information, or it will not affect the meaning conveyed by the writer. So the next is simple listing. When you read about simple listing paragraph pattern, this type of paragraph give us randomly listed elements, and these elements are equal in value, and if you want to change the order of these elements, it will not affect the meaning of the paragraph. And when you realize there is a similarity between simple listing and description. Okay, so we move to the next type of paragraph named definition paragraph pattern. So the definition paragraph pattern will explain the concept, will define the concept first, and then as the paragraph goes, as the sentence built, there is will be an expanding of the explanation, and oftenly the concept also got a restatement through the text. So the next type is chronological or sequence paragraph pattern. In this type of paragraph, the items were arranged in order they occurred. So you cannot change the order, or if you change the order, it will affect the meaning. So in this type of paragraph, the points inequally are not equal, and you cannot change the order because it will change the meaning. And the next is comparison contrast type of paragraph. You can say this type of paragraph is the paragraph about similarities and differences. So when you found this type of paragraph, you will suddenly know that this paragraph is show us the similarities or the differences between some things. And the last type of paragraph is cause and effect paragraph pattern. In this pattern, one item is shown as having produced another element. And one effect is said to have happened because of some situation or circumstances. Or in another word, an event is an effect of a cause, and this cause and effect types of paragraph pattern will show us that explanation. Okay, the next PowerPoint slides or the fourth PowerPoint slides is talking about implied and stated main idea. But first, we need to know what is the main idea itself. So, main idea is the most important idea that the writer want to convey, and we as a reader can identify this main idea by just looking to the title. Oftenly, we can do that. And besides the main ideas, there are also a small detail that support the main idea. So when you read a passage or a text and you read the title and you read its title, oftenly that is what the main idea is. And you can be sure that is the main idea by looking to every small detail in that text. If the small details support the so-called main idea, then your guess about main idea is probably 100% right. So the next is about implied and stated main idea. So we start with stated main idea, which is can be found so easily. So when you read a passage or a text and you suddenly can identify what the writer want to convey or what the goals of the writer, then you are already found the stated main idea. Meanwhile, implied main idea is when the center discussion of a paragraph cannot be found easily. Then you just um, read a text where the main idea is not stated or implied. And when you found or when you read a or when you read a paragraph or a text that has implied main idea, you have to define or stated the main idea by your words. If you want to be a good writer and you want to make the good main idea, don't insert some different topic in one paragraph because different topics belongs to different paragraphs, and when you confuse two or more topics in one paragraph, your reader will not be able to grasp what the the information or what are you trying to say in that paragraph, or on another word, your readers will not be able to grasp the main idea, whether it's implied or stated. Okay, the fifth PowerPoint slides is about implied main idea. So this material is closely related to the previous one. But I will just only explain about implied main idea because, as we know, stated main idea is easily found in the text. So here we go. So the definition of implied main idea is the main idea where it was not clearly stated in a text. And to figure it out, we have to look at supporting details. So when you have a suggestion about what the implied main idea is, just look at the another supporting details you found on the text and make sure is those details are supporting the main idea, the implied main idea you have built. And when you want to make yourself become more sure about implied main idea, you can ask these three questions to clarify it, which is who or what is this paragraph about, and what is the main point the author is trying to make about that topic. And when you already ask these two questions, to ultimately make sure about your assumption is to ask, does all or most of the material in the paragraph support this your implied main idea? Okay, the sixth PowerPoint slides is about inference. So we can say that inference is educated guess about a text. Inference is not directly stated, so when we want to make our own inference, we have to grasp the meaning of the text. And how to grasp this meaning, we can identify some words that indicate the author want us to make an inference. And those words are suggest, imply, infer, reasonably, suggested that, or with which would the author agree, or etc. And some function of the inference include to define implied things, makes us be able to grasp a writer's feeling or biases, and train us to think logically. And how to step by step make our inference or make a good inference is the first step is don't forget the information we got. So when you have already read the text, collect the informations in it. Don't matter how many the information are, just grasp or collect all of them, and don't base your inference but on information you got. The second step is to use our background info and experience to help us make our inference. So after you collect all facts, all informations from the text, we can use our background information or our logical thinking or our experience to build our own good to build a good our own to build our own inference. And the last steps is to make more than one inference. Don't forget all the facts or information you got, and don't never think that our sole inference is the most accurate. Just make another possibility of inference, and then um, match the fact with this all inference to make yourself sure about your inference. Okay, the next material we talk about context clue. So context clue is a word that have its own meaning, and these words are not familiar. So when you found an unfamiliar word and you feel that this word have its own special meaning, that word is probably a context clue word. And this type of word was majorly found in new areas you learn. And there are some common types of context clues like synonym. So when you look at the synonym, it means that you have to uh, look to another words that probably have the same meaning with the word you with this one word you found. Or in another word, when you face the synonym, you have to look to another word that could be a synonym for this one unknown word. Or in another word, when you look when you found an unfamiliar word, you will have to look to another words that could be a synonym for this unknown word or unfamiliar word. The next type is antonym. If you want to use antonym to grasp the meaning of one word, it means you have to look for words that have opposite meaning. And the next type is definition. If you want to use definition to grasp the context clue, it means that you have to look for the meaning of the word in the sentence. And usually, this meaning of this one word is exactly stated in the text, so that when you want to use definition to understand the meaning of a word, you will easily find the meaning of this word. And the next is example. If you use example to understand the meaning of um, context clue, you have to look to another example. You need another example or need another sample from another item to explain the meaning of unknown word. And the next type is explanation. This type of text use the description of situation to make us understand, or in another word, to grasp the context clue by this type of text, we can find the meaning by read the description in that text. It's kind of is easy to do. And the last type is tips. Um, s- Specifically, these types of text need background knowledge due to unobvious clues, and our interpretation will affect our understanding. Okay, the next material I will explain to you guys is about a reference. So when we expressing our reference, it's called referring expression because the definition of referring expressions itself is any form of utterance used to refer something or someone. And the item we use as referring expressions is called a reference. Reference itself, by definition itself, is the object or symbol referred by the speaker. So reference is divided to category, name definite and indefinite reference, while definite reference give unique identification for things in the world. Indefinite reference, on the other hand, um, identify an objects. that is not unique and suddenly use article in its expressions. The articles are oftenly are the article A or the article N. And there's also a primary and secondary referring. When we use a primary, the thing we refer to is stated directly. But when we use secondary referring, we use another words to be a reference, and the meaning by our referring expressions only could be determined by the context of the primary expression. Okay, due to the easiness of the materials, I will explain the material from the 10th to 14th slides by a short time. So we'll just start it. The 10th slides is about signal words. By definition, signal words are words that tell the reader that an important detail is coming in the text. These words also indicate the relationship of ideas in the passage, and not all writers include signal words in their texts. And the function of signal words are to signal addition of ideas. And the next function is to signal time, to signal order or sequence, to signify space and place, to signal an example, to show results, to signal purpose, and etc. So the 11th PowerPoint slides is to making a prediction. The prediction itself is the thought about what might happen. So when we are thinking about what might happen the next, it's called a prediction. And when we make predictions, we are becoming like a detective. So when we read a text or a passage and we use clues on the text, and then we are build the informations we got one by one to make an assumption about what will happen next. Doesn't it feels like a detective? And um, that activity is when we are make our own prediction. But to make to make a good prediction, there are 4 steps we can follow. Like use information from the text and use our background knowledge, then put all the information together. And the last step is to ask ourselves whether or not this assumption, this prediction is makes sense. When we can make our predictions becoming make sense, there is a good probability that our predictions is right, and when our prediction is making sense, there is a good probability that our prediction is right or accurate. So the next material is about preview. So I will just explain it by short words. So a preview a text is when we determine whether we are reading fiction or non-fiction, and then we preview the parts of the book. Either it's the cover or the title, the table of contents, the chapter titles, the subtitles, the pictures or illustrations, the photographs, the cards, and the captions. And the last tabs and the last material, I'm sorry, but the last material I will explain in this video is a summary. So summary is a technique to shorten text for certain purpose. When you make a summary, just focus on the most important statements of the original statements in the text. The function of the summary itself is gives us the overview of a text whole meaning. And summary will help us understand the major direction, the major points, and the overall shape of the more detailed original text. And when we make a summary, it will restate the essence of the original in as few words. So those are the material I can explain, I can give to you guys. I'm sorry for the mistakes and thank you for watching this video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.